Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. So, as you know, we already have confirmed that rank 8 tanks are coming, right? So, what are the tanks that are the most likely ones to come initially? They already said that eventually more premiums and other tanks will be added, but initially, what can we expect from it? Of course, we are not gonna have a devlog apparently today, so let's talk about the future. The first one is obviously the Leopard 2A7. The 2A7 is basically just a modernized 2A6, okay? It has even some variants fitted with urban combat packages, like the Plus variant, for example, and it has the same L55 as the 2A6, but it now has the DM11 variable time fuse HE. Of course, APF SDSs and other stuff like that can always be added to supplement tanks, so I'm not gonna get too much into the ammunition because that's more of a balancing factor than anything else, okay? But still, there is that. And of course, it has more power, more armor, sorry, with additional attached add-on armor elements. It has an APU, an auxiliary power unit, to help you know, the crew members to maintain the level of, you know, energy on the tank without having to have the main engine, you know, supplying energy, which can be a problem on the range and everything like that, depending on how much time you are standing still, right? It has a modernized V12. I think it is made by Mercedes. Turbo diesel with 1479 horsepower. And yeah, basically even has some upgrades that can be done to it that they tested with Trophy, APS, and basically would be just that, a very modern 2A6, you know, basically the same tank, but more of it. APS, a little bit of a better armor depending on the situation, on where it is, depending on the variant that they add as well. Better ammunition in general, a better engine. So, subtle changes to the A6 that add on, and at the end of the day, it makes a difference. A very big difference, I think. And I think it's just a matter of time until we receive that anyway, right? But I think if we are going to get rank 8, and they already confirmed that they are working on something for Germany, I think the 2A7s, one of them at least, is a very highly likely option for it to be added, and it would be cool. It is the coolest Leopard of it all, right? Isn't it? Of course, the second one is a Soviet/Russian tank, the T90M. Of course, if the 2A7 is added, you can expect something like the T90M to be added as well. It is also an upgrade to an original tank, the T90, right? So instead of the Leopard, it's a T90. It has an all-welded turret, although people claim that the original one has it as well. But anyway, it has an all-welded turret. It has a new fire control unit called the Kalina. A new gunner. It's the Kalina or the Karina? Now I don't know if I got the right information, but still. New gunner sight and 360-degree cameras for the commander. A new 2A46 M5 cannon, the original 46, but modernized, of course, especially in the auto-loader part of it, which is not really part of the tank, but still, or the gun, but still. Remotely controlled cord, 50 cal gun, of course. An improved armor in the carousel, of course, to help the survivability of the tank and try to fix, you know, it's not like it's going to take up a whole round to it apparently, but it can take something like a shrapnel or something like that. Additional armor plates, you know, in some places. Better relic ERA instead of the K5, of course, the same that we have in the BVM already. The Arena M APS, an active APS, of course. New V92 engine with 1130 horsepower, a better autoloader to accommodate the new Svinets ammunition, which are longer than the original rounds that the T90 took, And then it has apparently some blowout panels for like small arms ammunition as well in the back of the turret or something along those lines, okay? It is still a tank that apparently has the same flaws, just like the Leopard will have the same flaws as the 2A6. The T90M will still have the same flaws as the original T90 and other Soviet/Russian tanks, right? But it is going to be improved with APS, the more modern rounds, and just a very, very capable tank. I think it is pretty much what we already have with the Soviets, but just modernize it to current standards, basically, right? And then the last one, I think, and one of the main ones, to be honest, that people will likely wait for it, is the Abrams. Of course, a SEP V2 or V3, we don't know exactly, but I think an Abrams, a new Abrams, would be very, very highly likely, I gotta be honest, because although it is, as the T90 is kinda, and the Leopard as well, the same as the other Abrams, right? But it is a modernization that I think will help the US. Initially, the V2 doesn't have too many differences to the original SEP that we have in the game. So apparently a remotely operated weapon station as standard and not as an option, depending on who is buying, right? Color displays, new operating system, better second-gen thermals, and a better cooling for the crew. So for the game, it would be basically just better thermals, right? With maybe better ammunition. But the V3, however, it has some very cool features that I think it's the most likely version because of that. Increased power generation, so it can basically maintain the APU 1 and maintain basically the power on the tank for a longer period of time. The same principle as in the Leopard, okay? Better comms, better systems to manage the vehicle, everything like that doesn't matter too much in the game. Better improved maintenance systems, you know. But then the cool part, air burst rounds, which is very, very cool. Counter IED armor, so under the tank itself, right? That would help a little bit with some HE, Russian HE, something like that, maybe. Better armor overall, you know, especially on the turret. It has just better turret cheeks, you know, so you would take a punch a little bit better, taking the latest ammunitions from other countries on the cheek and not giving, you know. So and of course the APS trophy as well with new ERA as well. So it would be just the same Abrams with the same weaknesses, but improve it in many parts and in many little parts that makes it up for a big update. It's the same principle as the T90 and the Leopard, I think. And you can say that the rank 8 is not going to be that different from rank 7, because 99% of the tanks, apart maybe for the Armata in the future, if they ever add that, they're all going to be the same tanks as we already have, with some modifications done to it. That's pretty much it. But these are the 3 most likely tanks that I think are going to be added as rank 8s in the next patch, at least in my opinion. Leave it in the comments what you think about it, subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.